You may be overspending because you're simply using too much of some popular products. If you're having trouble stretching your budget as prices go up, then you might find it helpful to either use less of some common products or simply change the way that you're using it completely. If you don't know me, I'm Hope, and this is Under the Median, where every week we talk about practical frugality. And I've got 25 examples for you to consider. Item number 1, toothpaste. When it comes to toothpaste, you want to use a pea-sized amount. If your toothpaste is covering the whole top of your toothbrush, that is not a pea-sized amount. It should be a small blob toward the end of your toothbrush. Old, worn-out toothbrushes, keep them in with your cleaning supplies. They're great for scrubbing things. Small corners, crevices, they're great. When your toothpaste is almost empty, I like to use just the end of the toothbrush, even pressure all the way from the bottom to the top. But look, even when you do that, sometimes you're just that person that is standing in your bathroom at 10:30 at night, and you're doing this. You're putting all the pressure you can on the top to try to get enough toothpaste out to just brush your teeth one more time with this toothpaste. When that happens, close the lid, take a pair of scissors, cut straight across here, then open it up. There's enough toothpaste in there to probably brush your teeth twice, just stuck right in the top of that toothpaste. Body lotion, apply it right after your shower when your skin is still slightly damp. It will moisturize better and you'll be able to use less of it. Makeup wipes, I don't use them. Just use a clean, dry washcloth. It works. Body wash, use a quarter-size dollop on a wash rag. Don't apply it directly to your body because you'll use a lot more of the product when you do it that way. Shampoo, yes, this is really what I use, guys. I get that question a lot on the channel, and I use Better Not Younger. They usually put it on sale for Black Friday. So I usually buy enough for an entire year during Black Friday. But what I really want to say about this shampoo is all the manufacturers of shampoo tell you to lather up your hair twice. You only need to do it once. And conditioner. Listen, the part of your hair you need to condition is the tips, not the roots of your hair, the tips. So usually I wash my hair first while your hair is still damp, apply a little bit of the conditioner just to the tips of your hair. It needs to sit in your hair for 3 to 6 minutes. Perfect amount of time. You need about 3 minutes to finish your shower. Let it just sit and soak into your hair while you're washing the rest of your body. When you're done, rinse everything out and you've perfectly conditioned your hair using less conditioner. Do us a super big favor. If you're finding this video helpful, can you go give it a thumbs up for us and make sure you're subscribed to Under Median? That would be super helpful to us. Now, if you want more ideas on how you can cut your expenses back, you want a copy of our free guide to radically reducing your expenses, I'm going to make sure there's a link to it, guys, in the description of the video. Let's talk hand soap for just a second. Experts recommend 1/2 of a teaspoon. That's all you need. People use a lot more hand soap than they should because they think somehow that if they use more, their hands are going to get cleaner. Not necessarily the case. The nice thing about hand soap is you can make your own DIY version of foaming hand soap pretty inexpensively. This is just an empty, this was foaming dish and hand soap from Fit Organic. This is empty now. Just get a foaming bottle. This is the foamer up here at the top part of it. I use Castile soap. This is Dr. Bronner's. I really like it. A little bit goes a long way. I've had this jar for quite some time. You're going to fill up your container about a quarter of the way-ish with the Castile soap. Let's see, I think I'm going to put a half-ish cup in there. Then you're going to add some essential oil, whatever like scent of essential oil that you want. This is Purify. For a really, really long time, I used Young Living oils. Loved the oils, still love the oils. They got a little bit pricey. So just recently, I started trying out Revive oils. So far, so good. I like them. They're less expensive. I'll make sure, guys, that I leave a link for Revive oils in the description of the video, and I think that link should get you $5 off of your first order. So give it a try. I think that should work. This Purify has, let me just read you what it's got in it so you know what we're putting in our hand soap. Rosemary. Rosemary is really good for skin. Lemongrass. It's also got some lavender in it and some tea tree oil. So I thought that this would be really good to put in hand soap. You can put as many drops as you want in. I am going to put in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know why when you say numbers, it feels like you need to sing the numbers, but you don't. All right. 15-ish drops was what I put in there. You can add more or less according to what you'd like to do. Now we're just adding tap water, and we're going to put that up to about, this is 1 cup of tap water, by the way, that I just added. I'll probably add a little bit more tap water. You want your container filled about 3/4 of the way with the tap water. Put this on, and then immediately, let me see if we can get it to work. There you go. There's your foaming hand soap. Air freshener. They're kind of expensive, and once again, you can DIY it yourself for a lot less money. You need any spray bottle. This one is a plastic spray bottle. I would much rather have glass. I will say that up front, but this is what I had available when I went looking around the house for a spray bottle. This is probably a 3-ounce spray bottle or 4-ounce. It came in a set of 3 of these, maybe 4 of these. I think they were at Dollar Tree for $1.50. So you can find them a lot of different places. But you need a spray bottle, and you need 3 different ingredients or 2 different ingredients. I will explain why. When you make air freshener, if you were to Google it, you would find 2 different kinds of DIY air fresheners. One uses baking soda as the base, adds essential oil, and then water to it. The baking soda will help absorb odors. Now, I really prefer the kind that has a little bit of alcohol added, because to me, the alcohol will help prevent any growth of mold, or at least keep it from growing as quickly as it would if you add a little bit of alcohol. So that's the way we're going to make it today. You can use vodka, if you have vodka around the house. You can use homemade vanilla, because homemade vanilla is just vodka with the vanilla beans added. This is my vanilla, and I've probably used these same beans for about 4 years. I just keep topping it off. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I don't have a lot of vanilla left in the bottom, so I really need to top this off. I won't do it now though, because I'm going to show you how to do it with the vanilla. Homemade vanilla, super easy. We're going to use vanilla in this case. It helps if you have one of these, and you're going to add just a little bit. Oh, I'm going to add probably a teaspoon of vanilla to the bottom of that jar. Now, normally the next thing you're going to do is add some essential oils, because you want your room freshener to smell fresh, right? But I'm not going to do that this time, because the vanilla is already, it smells like vanilla, which to me sounds like a pretty good air freshener. But otherwise, you can add 10 to 15 drops of your favorite essential oil, and then you're just going to finish it off with water. If you want to use distilled water, you can, rather than tap water, or you can use filtered water. That's just fine too. And make sure that you get a spray bottle that's going to be a pretty fine mist, because what you don't want to do is, oh, by the way, you can use rubbing alcohol too. I should have said that. So you can use vodka, you can use rubbing alcohol if you don't have any like proof alcohol around the house, or if you don't have any vanilla. You can go ahead and use rubbing alcohol, and it works just the same. You might need to play around with the ratio of alcohol to water to essential oils to get it the way you like it, but this will last you quite a while. I tried the air freshener with just the vanilla in it. Didn't have a whole lot of scent, so I decided to go ahead and add some of the essential oils. The essential oils, by the way, will tend to separate and go toward the top, so before you use a homemade air freshener, give it a little, not a shake. What do you call this? Just a swivel. Give it a swivel. Hey, we're recording.
Mom, are my Doritos in frame?
Your Doritos were in frame. And your very cool, interesting soda that you got on clearance. This was on markdown at Kroger. All right, well, enjoy your lime and yuzu soda and your Doritos. Go have a good snack.
Will do.
Bye. Notepads, don't buy them. recycle sheets of paper that have been printed on one side, cut them into fourths. You can see this has printing on the back side. Cut them into fourths, staple them together, and you got yourself nice little notepads. Larry does this for me all the time. It works super great. Let's talk about keeping things cold. You can use these to take your lunches to work, and then when they thaw, you just stick them back in the freezer and refreeze them again. You get a lot of uses out of that. When it comes to taking water in your lunches, we do buy bottled water when it goes on super deep sale, and we keep it for emergencies. We also keep it, sometimes Daniel needs to have his lunch last him for like all day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or something, because he's working and going to school at the same time. And when that happens, sometimes he'll just freeze bottles of water and put them in his lunch to keep them cold all day long, and then they'll thaw throughout the day and he can have water to drink later in the day. But these are super great. This is glass. In our mind, glass is better than plastic, but you can use either one. Here's a tip that will help you to save on stuff getting spilled all over your lunch bucket or your lunch bag. Fill it, literally stand over the sink, put it upside down to make sure that this is not gonna leak before you put it in with some other food items, so you avoid that leaking all over the place. Dish soap. Now this is hand soap. I don't have one of these for dish soap right now. You can use these after they are empty. Put your dish soap in here, and then especially if you have children or other people who are helping you do dishes, you're going to put a note on the front that says 1 sink of dishes equals 2 pumps. You need to use far less dish soap than you think you do if you're getting high quality dish soap. We like Palmolive, and we also like Dawn. Dawn is super good dish soap. If you can get it on sale, and you can buy it when it's on sale, you can get a really great bargain on it. But the reason we like it is because they contain less water, they're more concentrated, and they go a lot farther than the inexpensive dish soap that you get that costs you a lot less, but you have to use a lot more. You only need like a teaspoon to do a whole sink of dishes if you're using Dawn or something like Palmolive. Napkins, you can always use cloth napkins. We like to cut apart like old t-shirts, just cut them in squares, old towels, things like that. We use them for rags. We also use them to wipe up spills. A lot of the same uses you would use a napkin. These napkins, all right. Tell me if you've ever done this in the comment section. I would love to know. Larry, when there were like dinners and meetings at work afterwards, they would literally throw all the leftover napkins into the garbage can. So he realized at some point they were doing this, and he would swoop in after the meeting was all over, before they started throwing stuff away, and say, "Oh, I'm happy to take those napkins." So he brought a lot of napkins home for us. So I feel like napkins are kind of a pretty easy thing to source when other people would throw them out, and you can bring them home. Paper towels, we buy about 1 roll every single year. These are smashed because they were actually in with our picnic supplies. I had to look around the house to see if we had any paper towels at all. The thing with paper towels is oftentimes you'll take a whole paper towel, rip it off, and then you'll use it for either, one tiny, teeny spill, or you'll just wipe your mouth off and throw the whole paper towel away. Oftentimes you can just rip the paper towel in half and use half the paper towel instead of the entire paper towel. And of course, once again, as with the napkins, you can use leftover rags that you've made, or you can also use just cloth napkins. Cleaning supplies, get a good all-purpose cleaner and use it for everything that you possibly can, rather than buying separate cleaners for everything in your house. Plastic wrap. A lot of times, if it's a round container that you're saving something in, find a plate that's about the same size as the top of the container. Stick the plate over the top. That will seal it from air. Stick it in your refrigerator. You're good to go. My mother-in-law taught me that. Paper plates. Use reusable ones as often as you can. These are the plastic ones. You can usually find them on clearance, by the way, at the end of the summer. I heard right now that they're starting to drop the prices of all the summer stuff. You can swoop in and get these on clearance right now. You can reuse these several times before they finally wear out or crack. You can also get something like this. This is a knockoff Milmac. We got a whole set of bowls, plates, cups, saucers, everything. I think we bought it at Salvation Army. They were brand new with the tags on. We paid a couple of bucks for the whole set, and I think there were 8 pieces of everything in the set. Look around. Once again, this is something like at Dollar Tree or Dollar General. You're going to find these marked way down in the next few weeks. So be looking for those. We reuse these all the time when we go on picnics. Just take yourself a couple of plastic bags or something that you can bring your dirty dishes home in, rewash them, stick them back in your picnic supplies, and you're good to go for next time. Pre-portioned food, like single-serve snacks. Don't buy them. Buy the larger bag, divide them up into smaller bags or smaller containers. It really doesn't take that long, and it saves you a substantial amount of money. And speaking of snacks, microwave popcorn. That's just a big no for me. I'm not a huge fan of microwave popcorn because this is so much less expensive. We buy this by the 50-pound bag. Take us about 8 months to use a 50-pound bag. This is our afternoon snack every afternoon. Just kernels of popcorn. Air popper, hot air popper, no oil, works great. Coffee filters. Buy a permanent coffee filter. I've even seen them at like Dollar Tree or Dollar General. They're not that expensive. They can save you a lot of money. If you have some of the paper ones though, I used to use them all the time with crafts for my kids. They're very handy for that. Rechargeable batteries. All right, these things are great. I will say that they will cost you a little bit more up front, but they're rechargeable, guys. You can use them over and over and over again. Here's the thing about rechargeable batteries. You do not want to use rechargeable batteries in something that you rarely change the battery, like your smoke detector. Our smoke detector and our carbon monoxide detectors, we change the batteries in those once a year. We check the battery on January 1st, set a specific calendar date so you don't forget, and make sure that you're checking them at least once a year and changing them out. What you do want to use recharger batteries for things that you often change the battery out in. That's how you make the best use of rechargeable batteries. Greeting cards. This is such a hard one for me to say. I am a fan of greeting cards, especially if you make them yourself. I think they're lovely. Some of you have sent us greeting cards and we appreciate it very much. But I have had to admit in the past 10 years or so that newer generations of young people aren't sending greeting cards as much. So if you're thinking of someone, give them a call, not a text, guys. Call them on the phone, especially if it's your mama or your grandmother, okay? Call them and talk to them. Or you know what? You can always send an e-greeting card. Larry sends me a handwritten note every single year for my birthday and Christmas and Valentine's Day. I love it so much. And I've kept them through the years. Laundry detergent. Whether you're using powdered or you're using liquid, you are probably using too much. All you need is about a tablespoon to do an entire load of laundry, especially if you have one of the newer energy efficient models of washing machines. Use less detergent. Dryer sheets, you honestly don't need them. They're expensive, and to me, they really don't smell that good. Instead, you can use wool dryer balls, which I have a set of those that a friend made for me. But here's what some people don't know. You can also use a clean, dry towel. Just spritz it with a few sprays of white distilled vinegar. Throw it in with the clothes that you are drying, and the vinegar smell will not stay in there, but it will help to soften your clothes and you won't have static cling. Fabric softener, once again, something that you do not need to use. Instead, use white vinegar. Hey, we are on a roll. Let's continue the conversation with 31 more ways that you can save money around the house. We did a video all about it. It's right over there. Go take a look.